This story is about Spark and Ember, two cats who didn't just find a home at the fire station, they found a purpose. They showed up on the coldest night of the year, huddled together in a cardboard box near our back entrance, their orange and white fur barely visible under the snow. Most people would have called animal control, but firefighters? We don't leave anyone out in the cold. I was the one who found them. It was 2 a.m., and I just stepped outside for some air after a brutal warehouse fire. That's when I heard it, a tiny, desperate meow cutting through the winter silence. At first, I thought I was imagining it. Exhaustion does that to you. But then I heard it again, and I followed the sound to that box. Two pairs of bright eyes stared up at me, scared but hopeful. The orange one, the bolder of the two, stood up and meowed louder as if saying, "We've been waiting for you." I didn't hesitate. I scooped up the box and brought them inside. The guys were skeptical at first. 2 cats? In a firehouse? But when they saw those 2 little fur balls shivering in my arms, every tough guy in that room melted. We wrapped them in towels, gave them warm milk, and watched as they slowly stopped shaking. That night, we didn't just save 2 lives, we gained 2 family members. We named them Spark and Ember. Spark, the orange and white one, was bold and curious from day one. Ember, mostly white with orange patches, was quieter, more observant. They were opposites, but they were inseparable. Where one went, the other followed. It was like they'd made a pact, survive together, no matter what. The first few weeks were an adjustment for everyone. We had to convince our captain that keeping them was a good idea. He was old school, the type who thought firehouses were for fighting fires, not fostering cats. But then, one afternoon, we found him in the break room with Spark curled up in his lap and Ember sitting on the table batting at his pen. He looked up at us and said, "All right, they can stay. But they better not interfere with operations." From that moment, Spark and Ember became official members of Engine Company 47. You'd think a fire station would be the worst place for cats. The noise alone would drive most animals crazy. Sirens blaring at all hours, heavy boots stomping across concrete, diesel engines roaring to life, metal doors slamming shut. But Spark and Ember? They adapted like pros. Spark especially seemed to thrive on the chaos. He'd sit on the hood of the truck while we polished it, supervising every move we made. If we missed a spot, he'd meow until we fixed it. Ember, on the other hand, preferred quieter moments. She'd find a sunny spot near the window and watch the world go by, occasionally grooming Spark when he came back from his inspections. What really surprised us was how they reacted to emergency calls. Most animals panic when sirens go off, but not these two. The first time the alarm rang after they arrived, we expected them to bolt. Instead, Spark ran to the bay door and watched as we geared up. Ember followed, sitting calmly beside him. It was like they understood what we were doing, like they knew we had a job and they respected it. From that day forward, every time we got a call, they'd see us off, and every time we came back, they'd be waiting at the door. But here's the thing about Spark and Ember. They didn't just live at the station, they worked there. Spark became our morale officer. After tough calls, the ones that left us quiet and haunted, he'd make his rounds. He'd jump into laps, purr against chests, remind us that life still had softness in it. Ember was our therapist. She had this way of knowing who needed her most. She'd find the guy sitting alone in the corner, staring at nothing, and she'd settle beside him. No demands, no noise, just presence. I'll never forget the night we lost a family in a house fire. We did everything we could, but it wasn't enough. When we got back to the station, nobody spoke. We just sat there, staring at the walls, replaying every second, wondering if we'd missed something. That's when Spark and Ember showed up. Spark jumped onto the bench between 2 of the guys, and Ember climbed into my lap. For 20 minutes, we just sat there in silence, petting them, letting their warmth pull us back from the edge. One of the guys, a veteran with 15 years on the job, looked down at Spark and said, You know what? These cats get it. They just get it. Spark and Ember also became local celebrities. Kids from the neighborhood started visiting just to see them. Parents would bring their children by after school, and Spark would strut around like a movie star, soaking up the attention. Ember, true to her personality, would watch from a distance, occasionally letting a brave kid pet her. We started getting donations. Cat food, toys, blankets. People wanted to support the Firehouse cats. It became a thing. And honestly, it was good for everyone. The community felt more connected to us, and we felt more connected to them. One day, a little girl asked me, "Why do you have cats at a fire station?" I thought about it for a moment, then said, "Because they remind us what we're fighting for. We run into burning buildings to save lives, right? Well, Spark and Ember are lives we saved. And now they save us right back." She smiled, and I realized how true that was. These two cats, who could have frozen to death in that cardboard box, had become the heartbeat of our firehouse. Of course, they had their quirks. Spark loved to sleep on top of the fire truck. We'd find him stretched out on the hood, basking in the sun, completely unbothered by the fact that we needed to leave for a call. Ember had a thing for stealing food. If you left your sandwich unattended for even a second, it was gone. She was sneaky about it, too. She'd wait until you looked away, then strike. We learned quickly. Never trust Ember around lunch. But the best part? Watching them together. In a world full of chaos and unpredictability, Spark and Ember had each other. They'd curl up together in the same spot every night, Spark's orange fur mixing with Ember's white patches, two lives intertwined. They'd groom each other, play together, nap together. They were a team, just like us.
People always ask me, "Aren't you worried something will happen to them?" And yeah, of course I am. Fire stations are dangerous places. But here's the thing. Spark and Ember chose this life. They could have run away 100 times. They could have found a quieter, safer place. But they didn't. They stayed because this is their home. We are their family. And just like we don't abandon each other, we don't abandon them. So if you ever wonder whether animals understand love, loyalty, and purpose, let me tell you about Spark and Ember. Two cats who were left to die in the cold, but instead found a firehouse full of people who needed them just as much as they needed us. They didn't just survive, they thrived. And they taught us something important. Sometimes the lives we save end up saving us right back. Now, here's my question for you. If you found two helpless animals on the coldest night of the year, what would you do? Would you walk past them, assuming someone else would help? Or would you stop, pick them up, and give them a chance? Because that one decision, that one moment of compassion can change everything for them and for you.